who are products of the school system or these broken families, they are the future lawyers, judges, politicians, doctors, teachers, mothers, and fathers. It's not enough to say, this doesn't affect me. You know, it's often said, faith without works is dead. We need the works. If we don't do this, we will see quickly how society will decline. It's already in decline. It's going to decline even more. Just look at the last, even 7 years. I look back and I'm thinking, my gosh, I remember fighting for this activist cause 7 years ago, and who knew that 7 years later, things have just rapidly degraded. So we have 3 options. We can fight, flight, or bury our head in the sand. Sadly, I think a lot of us may pick that 3rd option, but we really have to fight. We need to fight for the society in which we want to live. We either evangelize or we become evangelized. My father grew up in communism. Okay, he's Croatian, and that country was ravaged after World War II under communist Yugoslavia. His flag, his language, the country name didn't exist. One day it existed, the next day gone. You know, I always ask him, because, you know, some of us think, oh, it's so hard in this world. And don't get me wrong, we're dealing with major, major issues. But I ask him, you know, things look so bad. I call him Tata, that means father. I said, Tata, things look so bad. How did you have hope? I mean, you lived for decades under that. And then you came to Canada because you had to, you know, you wanted to live and raise a family, and you couldn't back there. How did you keep hope? He said, you have to. You have to have hope, because ultimately the bad guys lose. And things will always win. But you have to stay for the fight, and you have to stand your ground, and you have to have hope. So, you and I, we have a job. We have a job. In fact, the Knights of Columbus have a big job. Their job is to help families. Are you doing it? Okay, the Muslims are protesting on our behalf. We've seen them at school board protests. I remember during the sex ed protest in 2017, they were there en masse. There weren't that many Catholics, but the Muslims showed. The Sikhs come. What are we doing? They're protesting on our behalf. What are we doing? So I guess I would like to leave you with the, again, 4 principles of the Knights of Columbus: for charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. All those tie together and really address what we're doing here. And I'm going to leave you with this message, is please stand up and think about what are we doing, and how can we, as the Knights of Columbus, go and save the families of Ontario. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tanya, for that call to action. And I can assure you that the individuals that are here, that this is the leadership, right? The leadership environment, and it's been said many a time that not only are they here just to fit in, they're here to stand out. And I think that call to action is an inspiration to many of us. And you know, it's always troubled me that their flag has taken every color, and now they're working on every shape. I don't know where we're going to be keeping our colors and our shapes, and we're going to defend that. And we're going to stand tall, because we are, and we will remain, as long as I'm here in Ontario, this will remain the greatest Catholic fraternal organization the world has ever seen. We will defend it. So I knitted this thing for you. Oh, I got the hairy eyeball. So Zoe made this, and we'd like to give this to you. Just a token of our appreciation. There's a couple of gifts and a check. So let's just make this worth your while, and certainly appreciate everything you've done for us for this weekend. So thank you. No. There's the big cheese. One more.
Tanya? Thank you, Tanya, for bringing that important message that some of us have known, that our school boards and our governments are after our children, and I agree with that. But here's a question to ponder. If genitals don't defend define gender, then how does removing them affirm it? Really? Did you get a chance? I'll repeat it. All right, so if genitals don't define gender, then how does removing them affirm it? So please, I've known this for at least 2.5 years. My wife and I, I'm glad you brought it up. The Sound of Freedom. I've known that for 2.5 years. We seen it last year. It was released in the United States on July 4th. I've known it was supposed to come out for 2.5 years. And you know who has been trying to stop it for 5 years? Disney. Ask yourself why Disney tried to stop so you would learn about human trafficking. Disney.